Lori from the Law Office of Lori Vella. How are you guys doing today? I'm so happy to be here on my Unscripted Series to talk to you guys a little bit more about your frequently asked questions. So I am the Florida lawyer online, and I also practice in New York. I do wills and trusts and help you with your kids. And so what is this, you might ask? This is what we got today. Have you guys heard of Universal Yums? They are amazing because it combines my two interests, which is international travel and snacks. I love it. So this month, and I got the big box this time. So normally I get the medium box. So I got the big box. So this month it's Russia. And what happens is they send you all different snacks from Russia, and you go down and you rate them with who you're going to eat them with, and you go and decide what you like the best, and they give you like little things and like little trivia, and I love doing this stuff. Let me show you some of the stuff that you get. See all these little, I don't know about you guys, when I travel internationally, which I absolutely love doing, I love going to the grocery stores and I love seeing what snacks they have that kind of look like ours. I've heard that someone makes them and they just like repackage them different for different countries. I don't care. I'm buying into it. So look at these. They're like feta cheese type of chip. Maybe that's sour cream. So they have the snacks on top, the salty ones, and then they have like different desserts on the bottom. So I love doing this with my little boy. So he's 6 years old and he loves snacks as much as I do. And he used to love travel because before COVID, I used to travel with him a lot. Look at this. Look how cool this is. Milk pear. So what happens is you go through and it describes more about the snack, and you get a chance to really, enjoy it and learn about it. And then we learn about trivia too in the country. And it's this great idea for me because I want my son to kind of be exposed to different cultures. And so, there's a map of Russia we can go through, we can talk about it, we can do the quiz. And it's something that we really do together as a family, and we both love it. And I know because he's my kid, take my remote, put it over here. Because he's my kid, like I know the stuff that he likes, right? Because I'm his mom. And I was thinking that's kind of what I do. I kind of do the same thing when I'm drafting trust for people. It's really not that much different than this. It's kind of saying I kind of have an idea of what my kid is like because I'm with him more than any other human being on earth. I know his likes, his dislikes, and I can kind of get a sense of how he's going to turn out. I know he's really into math and engineering. I know he likes different languages. He doesn't necessarily read a story and comprehend immediately and just shoot things out and get it that way. But he's good at other areas. And I know that because he's my son. And so when I talk with people and we draft trusts and we draft, these provisions, what I'm doing is just talking to people. It's just, what is your kid like? What do you want for them? How much do you want to direct them? Because if something happens to us as parents and someone else has to take our role and fill our shoes, how are they going to know that my son likes international snacks, right? This is a small example. How are they going to know that I can see that he's really good at certain things, that I want him as his mom to be culturally aware? I want him to be tolerant. I want him to learn different languages, be exposed to different types of people. I really want that very badly for him. So much so that in his trust and his provisions, I want money allotted to foreign education learning, foreign travel, seeing his relatives in Europe and Australia. This is how you help parent and direct a child by virtue of a trust. So people are always like, I don't have an estate, I have no money to leave my kids, they're not going to have anything. Well, they probably will, because most of you have more than you think. If your house has to get sold, you have life insurance, a loan, some of your accounts and things like that. There's going to be some money to deal with. And the question is, how do you want the people who are going to be caring for your children, how do you want them to spend that money? Is it just going to be the boring standards, the HEM standards, health, education, maintenance, and support? Or are we going to get deeper? Are we going to get to a second level? Well, if they're an entrepreneur and they don't want to go to college, and they present a business plan and it sounds solid, I want money to go towards that. Like, is that something you would do? Or are you like, no, I want college. College is a necessity, I think, not only for getting a job, but I think it helps develop you as an individual. So I really want them to go to college. What if they have a baby? What if they get a new home? So that's kind of like the second level when we get a little more detailed. So the first standard is the HEM standard. They're always going to have money for health, education, maintenance, and support. The second level is, what if there's certain achievements in their life? Does my trustee have discretion to kind of give them a little bit more? It's like, hey, you have a new baby, there's just drop $5,000 there. You're going to have a new business, I'll allow you up to $30,000 if you can have a plan and you have a good head on your shoulders. And then we get to this level, the snack level. This level I'm talking about. Do you want your kids to play musical instruments? So there's certain things, like you might think like, oh, that's ridiculous. If I'm dead, you know, I just hope they raise my kid right. You can take that approach, which is fine too, and we could just stick with the first two levels or maybe just the first level. Or you can go to this level and say, I want my kid to take piano. I always want him to have lessons. Whether or not he pursues it, whether or not he becomes a concert pianist, that's not what I'm about. I want him to be exposed to music. I want him to take art classes because art is underfunded actually. Pretty soon, maybe unfunded in public education. So I want him to have exposure to that. I want him to take foreign language lessons. So these are additional things that we can add. And we could tell the trustee, I want money to go to these things. I want money to go to travel. I want my child to go to museums. You know, whatever it is, that's like the third standard. And then we have the fourth standard where if there's a problem, we kind of get it in check. So if my kid has a gambling problem, we're going to withhold money and help them get treatment. If they have alcohol abuse, if they're in a bad marriage, you know, we're going to reserve the money, maybe just keep it to the HEM standard to keep them going, but let's hold back the money to wait for a divorce, so then we can give our child money, so the money doesn't go to like an ex-spouse. And if there's special needs, then we can add that on too. So these are the things that are kind of like the fun things. These are the things that, you know, you have this kid, you see so many things for them in life, so why not take the extra step to be like, do they like salty or sweet treats, right? Like, I know he likes this. Would I put a provision in my trust that he get universal yums? Maybe I have something in there and says, hey, you know, and maybe I do an ethical will, which is something I write to the trustee just to give them guidance. Like, this is what Johnny likes. That's my little boy, Johnny. This is what he likes. And he also likes to do his Spanish lessons on Panda Tree. That's what we do. I have him elephant learning. And in this kid care package I put together, there's a form that's called More About Us, and it's like 10 pages or something, and you go through about all the things you're doing. And if anything, it's like a great keepsake, because you put everything your child's interested in, just in case someone has to take care of them, even temporarily. And then as it updates, because the kids change, right? We went from Paw Patrol, and then we went to Star Wars for a little while. And now, unfortunately, he keeps going to this YouTube channel, which I don't like, so he like bribes me. There's a lot of bribery involved. If I do my homework, and if I'm a good boy, and if I do this, can I do 10 minutes of YouTube? There's a lot of that happening right now. But he likes, he still likes shows about trains and things like that. You know, you kind of can keep updating it, but those old forms that are outdated, you know, stick them in the baby book. It's a way to kind of like get your baby book, get your memory going of what your kid was like at 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and it's something you can look back at someday. So we're going to be doing this tonight. If you're looking for us, this is where we're going to be, because, let me see if there's, oh God, there is so much. I love anything with like, look at these chewy snacks. Does that look fun or what? Does anyone want to come over and do this with us? We'll share small portions of it, because we really, look how, I feel greedy actually that I got a large box. This is what we like doing. This is our jam. And there's no jam in here. I wish there were. But so when you think about a trust for your kids, don't always think about something complicated. Think about things like this. It's about how you want your child to be raised, how you want them exposed, how do you want them to turn out? I mean, we're in a big political debate right now. How would you feel if your kid kind of turned out on the other side of politics? And what do you think you can do to kind of raise them, to have them exposed to different things here and there, to kind of guide them in a certain way? So these are all, because maybe even if you pick guardians and you know that they're, you know, Democrats and you're Republican, or that they're Catholic and you're Jewish. I mean, there's things like these that you're going to have to preserve the cultural, you know, ethnicity of your child. These are things we might have to bring in. I mean, even if, you know, I'm Italian, what if something happens to me and Johnny's dad, and the people who raise him are like something different? What if they're Irish? Like, how are they going to know to bring in certain elements? And so we can take a step further when we go with our planning. We don't just look at the money. We don't just look at this. We look at all of this stuff. Who's my kid? What do I want them to be? And what can I do now to make sure they kind of turn out that way, or at least have exposure? All we can do as parents, right, is expose them. However they turn out, that's on them, really. But if we give them that kind of exposure that we want, then maybe there's a chance they'll, you know, turn out exactly how we want them to be. So this is Lori Vella from the Law Office of Lori Vella. I'm your Florida lawyer online, and I practice in Florida, and I also practice in New York. I'll be going up to my New York office soon for a couple of months, so I look forward to meeting with clients there. And I hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be sure to answer them after I attend to important matters.